Very excited to introduce our next topic. We're very pleased to provide you with this discussion on pathways to quantum with some student perspectives. We have three emerging high school students here to speak to you about some of what they're doing with quantum. I want to introduce Dr. Nancy Holincheck, who is Assistant Professor of STEM Education and the Co-Academic Program Coordinator of the Advanced Studies in Teaching and Learning program at George Mason University. Dr. Holincheck, I'll leave it to you to introduce our high school students and this session. Thank you. Yep.
Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm going to get us started talking about, here we go. Our program at George Mason is many parts. What we're going to talk about today is about our high school activities. So this past summer, we had this quantum immersion program that includes an online opportunity for students to learn about quantum and quantum careers, and then an in-person experience where students visited a number of locations in the DC area, including MITRE, NASA Goddard, labs at George Washington University, University of Maryland, and George Mason, and the White House Office of Science and Technology Programming, or Policy, in which students had the opportunity to talk with leaders in quantum policy about what the future looks like. The students also were able to earn these two badges that are up on the screen as part of their activities. And what I want to do is give the students an opportunity to talk a little bit more. I will say we had a ton of interest locally. We advertised across the DMV area, and we ended up with 24 students. And those students really represented the 6 school districts broadly. And we had a number of underrepresented students or students from underrepresented groups, and a fair number of young women that were part of our project as well. So I'd like to introduce Katelyn Miller. She's from Loudoun Valley High School. David Adinuba at Charles Herbert Flowers High School. And Shivani Nadella from Freedom High School. And they're each going to share a little bit about their experiences this summer.
Yeah, so thank you for being here today. First of all, as Dr. Holincheck said, I'm one of the students that graduated from the summer immersion program and went on to work on our vision poster project. And for that project, the students were tasked with creating a vision for what we want quantum technologies or applications of these technologies to look like in the future. And this was our opportunity to connect our personal interests with our newfound quantum knowledge of the various concepts and applications within quantum. So for me, I'm very interested in space exploration and the development of space technologies. So I intertwined this with my new quantum knowledge to look into quantum sensing for better space situational awareness, particularly quantum magnetometers for sensing space debris. So after I had this idea, I dove right into the research and looked at the history of space debris detection as well as quantum magnetometry and classical magnetometers. And then I looked at the present technologies we have to see what limitations there are to getting towards this adaptation of the magnetometers. So when I was looking at that, some of the limitations I found based on the present technology we have are reducing noise error or even calibrating the instruments while they're in space. And then we also looked at the ethical concerns that arise with these technologies, because although sensing space debris could help protect our spacecraft and even astronauts from minuscule but still dangerous pieces of space debris that can't be detected with traditional radar, it could still be used for other malicious actions like detecting people. And that wouldn't be so good. So those were the factors we looked at, and we compiled it all into research posters like the ones you see on the screen. And if you'd like to look more into them, they're up on the 7th floor on the balcony, and we'd love for you to take a look.
Thank you, Katelyn. We also had an opportunity for our students to be part of summer internships and research experiences. 17 of our students were able to do that. David Adinuba is one of those, and he's going to share about his experience.
Yes, so after the program, we were connected to a variety of internships, depending on the field that we wanted to go into. Me personally, I chose the INA Solutions internship, which is a tech startup not too far from here that serves multiple government agencies. And my personal role was to study and analyze quantum machine learning and its capabilities in the business world. I was able to understand quantum in a corporate space, which would allow me to envision a career going into quantum. And then also, after the internship and after the program, we were able to put all of our knowledge into the research posters and the vision posters that you would see on the 7th floor. And we would greatly appreciate if you guys would check them out, things that we're so greatly passionate about and our hard work.
Thank you, David. And then we also had a group of students who were involved in putting together what's called the Quantum Student Network, and their names are up here on the screen now. Of those students, I'd like to introduce Shivani and Nadella, who will tell us more about that.
Thank you, Dr. Holincheck. So the original goal of the Quantum Student Network was to develop a pilot high school community of practice for quantum. We also expanded this to how we can bring quantum education to middle and elementary schools, and also broader communities like libraries. So through extensive discussions, we developed a vision paper which identified 3 key components for bringing quantum to schools, and that was clubs, a consolidated resource platform, and outreach. Clubs are the main way which high school and middle school students can learn more about advanced topics. So either through making a standalone quantum club or integrating with existing STEM clubs, supporting clubs would essentially be the best way to educate students, raise awareness, and involve them in competition programs or existing networks. The next key component was making that centralized resource platform, which would ideally have everything that clubs, schools, and students would need to learn. This could be anything from activities, learning courses, workshops, or connections to networks like UMDU QA, and also listings of opportunities for programs, conferences, and competitions. And the last key component was outreach, since the main way students could hear about our initiative is mainly through schools, teachers, or social media. So in addition to that, if we could also establish communication with schools or use newsletters or updates on our content platform, then students could hear about this program and our initiative. So to accomplish all of this, we would need help to develop these resources and the network. So if you can help, please contact or connect with Connected DMB.
Terrific. And really quickly, I want to give each of you guys a chance to share with the audience your favorite part or the most impactful part of the summer experience for you. Katelyn?
Yeah, so the most impactful part of the program for me was learning about all the different careers that are involved with quantum. Because when I initially applied last spring, I thought it would be a fun science experiment over the summer, but I wouldn't really use that information in the future. But looking back with hindsight, I was completely wrong. Any career that I end up going into, even if I'm not a research physicist or a computer scientist, I'm going to be using quantum in the future. And this really changed my perspective on the buzzword quantum and opened the door to new opportunities. And although I don't particularly plan to go into specifically physics, any degree and any career I end up going to will be prevalent in the quantum world.
As for me, I would say the most impactful part of the program was our visit to Matter, which is a couple of blocks away from here. We were able to see some of the workspaces that are driving innovation in the quantum world. One of the most memorable parts of our visit was how we were able to see military drones and how they could create depth maps in real time. And then also, we were able to see diamonds, not the ones on your finger, but like an actual block of diamond, and how you were able to create qubits out of it through nitrogen vacancy. And yeah, also, actually by far the most memorable part of that visit would be how we were able to hear from the employees how they got into quantum and how they entered the field even from our age, which was very interesting.
Yeah, and I also agree with David. Visiting MITRE was very, very fun and informatory because I didn't know quantum was even at that level yet. But my favorite part was when we visited NASA's Goddard and we saw the Nancy Roman telescope and the huge clean room, and like also understanding how advanced quantum already was. I had a similar thing as Katelyn where I didn't fully understand how quantum was doing in the real world. And we saw like how advanced they were already using it with Illuma-T and their robotics department and quantum key distribution research. And besides seeing NASA, it was also really interesting to understand how important quantum was to the government when we went to the White House's Office of Science and Technology Policy. They talked a lot about what they were planning to do and what they aim to have.
So thanks, kids, for everything you brought to the program. And we have a number of other students in the audience today and attending sessions. If you see someone who looks like a high school student, they probably are. Stop them and ask them what they worked on this summer. And we really appreciate you attending today to hear about our program. Thank you.